Gundam.tk presents G-Exis. Hey again everybody, it's Robert184, 2 R's 2 B's from Gundam.tk, which is GundamReviews.net, and yes, as the first generation of Gundam Age comes to an end, I've already got the advanced grade of it, but what better way to finish than with Wolf's second mobile suit, the high grade 1144th G-Exis. This first went on sale in December 2011, and sells for the familiar age price of 1,200 yen. Made by Bandai, of course, and some pretty cool looking cover art to go with it. And it's number 9 in the high grade Gundam Age series, which makes it the last that we know of the first generation. Now this kit is a little bit hard for me to pass up. First of all, Wolf's first one was the Genovese Custom, which came out in advanced grade, all white, no color whatsoever except for that blue part. Before the high grade, it showed a whole bunch of improvements with the extra gray and the face shield actually covering up some gray underneath. So you get that textured part to it. You'll also notice that it has a personal mark there. You've got a sticker there. I had to cut one out of the box, very low class style for both of the AGs. The AG-GXs came out before the high grade, and now it's time to give Wolf his 4th model and his 2nd mobile suit, at least that we know of thus far. I still love this clean box art style every time. So on the first side you're going to see the plates, and you can see that there's some colors there with some clear green, it looks like, white, and some big pink parts for his oversized beam sabers. I wonder if they're going to be oversized on the inside. Here's a front shot, things are looking pretty good. He's got lots of gray all over him. Over here the back shot, again we get to see a lot of bray poking through. He should be very posable, as most of the high grade Age kits have, with ball joints all over the place. The shield is going to have the personal marking seal, which is oh so important to Wolf. The Genovese Custom came with 2, I hope this does as well, so that one could get passed down to the advanced grade. Open hand there for dynamic poses, and actually his side armor is going to have missile pods, which is sort of cool. And down there it says that the camera eye is made of a foil seal, and the backpack, because it's on ball joints, is going to be able to move around, and overall he's just looking pretty sharp here. On the other side we have some story about the actual mobile suit, which Wolf disappeared midway through the first season to go and collect from a mysterious old friend named Mr. Madonna and his wife. And in the anime, Flit was having a little bit of trouble with the back toes, even though he had gone through one in the Titus, and Wolf showing up with his wolf fangs, which you want to call his big beam sabers there, were very impressive in dealing with the couple that remained. Over here, finally, we're going to have an unpainted picture, which, unlike the AG, which is painted by a pro on the side, at least this way a kid knows they're going to get right out of the box if they don't put any effort to it whatsoever. You can see the red mark and gray all over. Opening up the box, you're going to be getting, on the inside, a multicolored A-plate. You've got a whole bunch of stickers over here. It looks like 2 pink beam sabers, gray, white, and blue on there. It's not clear blue, it's actually just a light teal blue, I suppose. And in the next bag, you're going to have some white, some gray, and yes, 2 wolf seals, which is fantastic. That just makes my day for this purchase. And you're going to have the instruction manual. The A-plate starts things off in a sort of interesting style. You're only going to have 3 colors here, but one of them, when I looked at it on the outside of the box, I thought this might be clear blue, but it's not. It's actually a nice blue, quite different from what you see with the clear one that's going to go on the Genovese Custom. In this case, with this part, you're actually going to have blue eyes just on top of a blue part there that goes behind the eyes, but the camera lens for both the front and back can actually be made out of plastic, which means you don't necessarily have to use the seals. Here you're going to have some gray for what you could call the inner frame, a big blocky piece there for the shield, which is very oversized but sort of looks cool. It's going to have a gray piece underneath, it looks like. However, the most interesting thing for me is that you've got this missing part down here and a missing part down here, and you'll notice these parts here. So I wonder, since this is a unique one, all of the plates in here are unique. Nothing to do with the Genovese Custom, but you have to wonder in the 2nd generation, are we going to be seeing something like this with just some minor variations on the plate? The B-plate completely continues along those lines, as you can again notice where these parts don't necessarily have to be there. So I wonder if this is going to be for the Wolf Custom and this could be for the mass-produced one. Who knows, just speculating at the moment. Here's that big gray part which is going to go on the back of the shield. You always don't want the shield to just be the same one color front and back. So it's great to see that at least they're addressing a portion of it there in the middle. And you're going to have only 3 hands, not 4, but then everything else to make up the rest of the inner frame. A slightly smaller C-plate here is going to give you the rest of the white that's not on the A-plate, and you've got quite a few interesting parts to see here. From the side armor to the missile pods, here you're going to have the beam sabers. The handles are looking good and they're standing vertical there. Some very angular parts down there for the legs, and everything is looking cool. Very Genoese-ish, except just a little bit better with the GXs, including all the parts for the head and face there. Which, when you look up close, you're going to have the wolf ears here on the top of the head, 2 sides to put around this, and you're going to have a little part there for the camera lens. And for the face itself, you're actually not gonna, I was sort of hoping that you'd have some separation there between the mask and the chin part down there, but you're gonna have to go in there and do some lining. Although there for the vents where the mouth should be, you're going to have some very deep channels, so hopefully it's gonna look pretty good with very little effort. PC001 for the insides there of all the joints, and for the beam sabers you've got SB9. And just to show you in comparison, this is from the Rio Grade Freedom, which has oversized beam sabers, and they're this long. So here I am hoping Wolf was going to have some big impressive wolf fangs, and yeah, they're pretty much just regular high-grade beam sabers, although they are of that flattened variety as opposed to the round ones. For the personal marks, you're going to have 2 wolf seals there, which is going to make my advanced grade very happy, considering that's just cut out the side of the box and taped on with tape. Somewhat less pleasing though is just the fact that when you have this number of stickers, it's usually just because there's not enough colors in there, and I'm talking look how many black seals there are. None of that is going to be reflected in what you can call the inner frame or the joints or everything like that. Everything that's going to be black is not going to be done just by lining, but by seals. For the camera lenses, you're going to have 2 there for the head and for the eyes, so you can either just choose to paint behind the raised parts on the eyes, or you can actually cover them up with this sticker, and you can go with the plastic look unless you want the slightly reflective ones here. And this part is going to go for the beam rifle. 2 gray stickers which are going to go on, and otherwise these black parts are going to go all over the place, as you'll see as soon as you take a look inside the manual. Which is looking good with that cool cover art, and then you're going to have the mobile suit profile. He's looking very short and stocky here, not quite impressive. If you did have a master grade, you know that would get stretched out. Here's the pilot, Wolf Eniaco, so whether you love him or hate him in the first season, came across as pretty abrasive early on and certainly has grown on me and flit, it seems, as the show has progressed. On the inside, you're going to have a nice color splash page, and look at that pose. That's very impressive there, with even the regular size beams. Beam sabers, he is looking good, and that black and gray is standing out. I wonder how much of that is black and gray. It all looks black there. Here you're going to be talking about the bad guys that he faces, the Zetas and the Bacto, the Genoese, his friends, and the Divas crew, with that all-important girl for Wolf to hit on when she comes to see him in the gym. Here they're going to show off the Sparrow with all of its wares, the Titus and the Normal to go along with the Sparrow. Here's some clips from the anime. The mechanics are looking pretty good. You've got the bonus that you can attach the beam rifle onto the back of the waist armor. The beam rifle looks good. You can get it into 2 hands, which is always impressive. Those wolf fangs, those poses are looking better and better, and he can actually reach into his backpack and pull out something. In this case, beam sabers to surprise everybody. There's the beam rifle. The missile pods are looking cool. I'm hoping those can turn up. The beam sabers are good. There's the gray that's going to break up the monotony of the white. The personal mark certainly helps. And there, the Madonna Factory MS. You've got the Shaldol, whatever you want to call it, however you want to do the RL thing. And only 3 colors in this thing altogether. There's the plates on the inside. It's only 40 yen to replace missing parts. And after you build the chest, arms, and put the whole body together, the back is going to be less than exciting. Just be careful when you put everything on. And it looks like you've even got seals there on the top of the legs, which is going to be interesting, I suppose. On the back of the beam saber mount. So when you bend those down, you'll see some black there. The beam saber is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts, it looks like. The shield, just 2 though, when you put it all together. The beam saber, basically just open up the manipulator to put it in, swing this peg out, and slide that part down. So you're going to have some pretty good details for a little high grade there. And if you want to do the shield trick when you want to put it on different sides, you're going to pop off the forearm as similar with the Age 1 normal. Beam sabers go here or in the backpack, and it's going to work with a custom action base too. And it's not going to have a custom mount piece. It's just going to be built into the waist section itself. But so far, looking sharp. So I really enjoyed building Wolf's Genoese custom in high grade, well, and in advanced grade, both for the and the GXs. So I think this high grade is going to be a lot of fun. It's always great to crack open the plates and see that there's a whole bunch of room for changes in the future. So lots of speculation, I suppose, coming up, or it's going to be revealed pretty early on. In the second generation, I'm not encouraged by the amount of seals, but I am encouraged by the number of personal marks. So anyway, everybody, stay tuned for the next part, where you will see all the parts before the mobile suit gets put together. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Bye. You know, according to the rule of Cool in Gundam, commander fins are very important. but wolf ears take the cake.